direct sponsorship, no more racing-only parts. That ban was a fiction. By the early 60s, everyone knew it. Ford was openly racing again. Chrysler was building the second-generation Hemi specifically for NASCAR. And inside Chevrolet, engineers were finding quiet ways to support racing efforts without putting anything in writing. Parts moved through dealerships, prototypes went out the back door, conversations happened in parking lots instead of conference rooms. And in the dyno cells after hours, the experiments began. Because somebody somewhere inside Chevrolet kept asking the same question: what if we forced more air into it? Now, when people hear the word turbocharger today, they think modern. They think European sedans. They think turbocharged Porsches and high-tech crossovers. But forced induction is older than most people realize. By the early 60s, turbochargers were already proven technology. They'd been used on diesel trucks for years, on World War II aircraft engines, on industrial machinery across America. And here's the part that surprises people. In 1962, Chevrolet actually sold a turbocharged car, the Corvair Monza Spider, a small, rear-engined economy car with a flat six that suddenly made 150 horsepower thanks to a Garrett turbo. Oldsmobile did something similar that same year with the Jetfire turbocharged V8. So turbocharging wasn't science fiction inside GM. It was sitting in production cars at the dealership. And the racing engineers, being engineers, started asking the obvious questions. What if we put one on a real racing V8? What if we put two on a big block? What if we use boost to make a smaller engine compete with a bigger one? These conversations happened. We know they happened. The exact details, what was tested, what was discarded, what was destroyed, those details get murky because the men doing this work weren't writing it down for the public. They were filing memos that got buried in cabinets, and some of those cabinets were emptied a long time ago. But the engineering hunger was real, and it never fully went away. To really understand what was happening, you have to look at a specific engine, one that wasn't turbocharged at all, but one that proves the culture existed. It was called the Mystery Motor. February 1963. Daytona International Speedway. Something strange rolled into the garage. Chevrolet teams showed up with engines under the hood that the press had never seen. They looked similar to the 409 at first. Same general size, same family. But the cylinder heads were completely different. The combustion chamber had moved up into the head. The valves were tilted at unusual angles. The intake ports were huge. This was a 427 cubic inch V8 that nobody outside a tight inner circle even knew existed. Junior Johnson took one of these mystery motors and won his qualifying race. He led the Daytona 500 itself for a long stretch before mechanical issues took him out. The lap times shocked the competition. And then they vanished. Within months, General Motors corporate management cracked down. The 1957 racing ban was reinforced internally. Factory support for NASCAR was officially pulled. The engineers who had built the mystery motor were told, in plain terms, to stop. They didn't really stop. They couldn't.